The morning sun stretched across the rolling fields of wheat, painting the small farm in golden light. Emma Carver wiped her brow with the back of her hand, the sweet scent of earth rising from the freshly turned soil. Life on the farm wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. Her family had tended this land for 3 generations, and though times were often hard, the Carvers were known for their resilience. Emma was quiet by nature, happiest among the animals and the soil, while her identical twin, Sarah, had left years ago to serve her country. Sarah's absence was a constant ache in Emma's heart, though she wore her pride like armor. Few knew where Sarah had gone or what she had become. Emma simply told folks she was serving in the army. The truth was deeper, darker, and far more extraordinary. Emma didn't think much about it that morning when she hitched the old wagon to carry fresh eggs to the local market. She had no idea that by the end of the day, she'd be standing at the center of a storm, one that would test her courage and reveal truths no one could have imagined. At the small town high school nearby, trouble was already brewing. A group of boys from the football team, full of arrogance and entitlement, had been circling Emma for weeks. They thought her quiet demeanor made her an easy target. The Carver farm wasn't wealthy, and Emma's faded clothes and mud-streaked boots gave them more ammunition than they needed. But what the boys didn't realize was that beneath Emma's gentle nature lay the bloodline of warriors. Her twin was living proof of that. That afternoon, the bullying took a cruel turn. As Emma carried a basket of eggs through the town square, one of the boys, Tyler, the ringleader, deliberately stuck out his foot. Emma stumbled, the eggs crashing to the pavement in a splatter of yolk and shell. Laughter echoed across the street, cruel and sharp. "Careful, farm girl," Tyler sneered, "don't want you tripping on your own dirt." Emma bent down quickly, her cheeks burning, trying to gather the mess before anyone else noticed. But the laughter grew louder. "What's the matter?" another boy jeered. "Where's your twin?" "Oh wait, she ran away from this dump, didn't she?" Emma froze. They didn't know the truth about Sarah, but hearing her sister's name used as a weapon stung. For a moment, she felt that familiar urge to shrink, to let the storm pass. But before she could respond, a shadow fell across the group. Sarah Carver had returned. No one recognized her at first. Dressed in plain jeans and a black jacket, her posture calm yet commanding, she seemed like just another passerby. But her eyes, sharp, unyielding, locked on the scene with the precision of a hawk. She had come home on leave, craving the comfort of the farm, the laughter of her twin, the peace of familiar soil. What she had walked into was something entirely different. "Pick up the basket," Sarah said, her voice low, steady. Tyler turned, smirking. "Who are you supposed to be?" "Another farm girl." The crowd quieted. Something about her tone, her stillness, made even the bravest hesitate. Emma's eyes widened. "Sarah," she whispered, barely believing her sister was standing there. Sarah stepped closer, her boots crunching against the gravel. "Pick it up," she repeated. This time, it wasn't a request. Tyler laughed nervously, trying to keep his bravado intact. "Or what? You gonna make me?" The shift was almost imperceptible. Sarah didn't raise her voice. She didn't move fast. She simply reached out, caught Tyler's wrist as he tried to shove her, and with a fluid motion flipped him onto his back. Gasps erupted from the bystanders. It wasn't flashy, it was efficient, precise, the kind of movement born of endless hours of training. Tyler groaned, clutching his arm, stunned more by how quickly he'd been disarmed than by the fall itself. The other boys hesitated, their smirks faltering. Sarah's eyes scanned them, calm yet unyielding. "Do you know what it means to stand against someone who's willing to protect?" she asked quietly. "Because I promise you, you don't." Emma's heart raced. She knew Sarah had been part of something elite, something dangerous, but this was a glimpse into a world few ever saw. Sarah wasn't just a soldier. She was Delta Force, one of the most highly trained operatives in the world. A legend whispered among those who served. And now, that legend stood in the middle of their small town, defending her twin without a second thought. But what came next was not what anyone expected. Sarah didn't punish the boys further. She didn't humiliate them, though she easily could have. Instead, she crouched beside Tyler, who was still staring at her in shock. Strength, she said softly, isn't about making someone else feel small. It's about lifting others up, even when you don't have to. You think cruelty makes you powerful? It doesn't. It makes you weak. Tyler blinked, the words landing heavier than the throw had. Around them, silence spread, the weight of her presence undeniable. The other boys shuffled, unable to meet her gaze. For the first time, Emma saw not just the soldier in her sister, but the heart, the compassion that had always defined her, even beneath the layers of training and discipline. Sarah stood, offering Emma her hand. She pulled her twin up gently, brushing dirt from her sleeve. "You don't ever bow your head to people who don't see your worth," she said firmly. "You were born stronger than they'll ever know." Emma's eyes filled with tears. For years, she had felt overshadowed by her twin's absence, wondering if she'd ever be enough on her own. But in that moment, standing side by side, she realized Sarah's strength wasn't meant to eclipse her, it was meant to remind her of her own. What happened next spread across town like wildfire. The boys, once so arrogant, began to change. Tyler, humbled and shaken, showed up at the Carver farm days later, offering to help mend fences as a quiet apology. Others followed, their swagger replaced with an unfamiliar humility. Emma, once a quiet shadow, found her voice. She began speaking up not just for herself, but for others who felt small. And Sarah, though her time at home was brief, left behind more than just memories. She left a lesson that rippled through the town, a reminder that kindness is stronger than cruelty, that compassion can disarm where force cannot. When Sarah boarded the bus back to her unit, Emma hugged her tightly, tears streaming down her face. "You're my hero," she whispered. Sarah shook her head. "No, Em. You've always been the brave one. Don't ever forget that." The bus pulled away, carrying the Delta Force legend back into the shadows of service. But for Emma, and for the town, her presence had lit a fire that would not fade. Bullies had picked the wrong farm girl's twin, and in doing so, they had discovered a truth that would stay with them forever. The greatest strength is not in domination, but in the courage to protect, to forgive, and to love. And from that day forward, whenever Emma walked through town, shoulders back and head held high, people saw her differently. Not just as the farm girl, but as the sister of a legend, and as someone who carried that same quiet, unshakable strength within herself.